Okay, let's go.
It begins here, with bales of raw, high-grade cotton fibers arriving at the secure manufacturing facility. These fibers are the foundation of the currency's renowned durability and distinct tactical feel. Before becoming substrate, every microscopic impurity must be rigorously removed from the raw material.
Linen flax is introduced to the mix at this specific stage, adding crucial tensile strength to the final composition.
Massive vats blend the distinct fibers into a consistent, hydrated pulp, ready for the next stage of processing. This critical stage refines the fiber length, ensuring the final substrate will have a uniform texture and density.
Meanwhile, the first line of defense against counterfeiting, the embedded security thread, is prepared for integration.
The liquefied fiber mixture is now ready to be transformed from slurry into a solid sheet.
As water drains, the fibers interlock, and the essential security thread is embedded forever within the substrate.
A custom-designed dandy roll presses down, creating the distinct watermark visible only when the final note is held to light. Tremendous hydraulic pressure removes excess moisture and consolidates the fibers into a dense, cohesive mat.
Heated cylinders slowly dry the substrate to a precise moisture content, locking the fibers and security features into place. A protective gelatin coating is applied, giving the paper its characteristic crispness and long-term durability. Intense pressure from steel rollers imparts a perfectly smooth finish, critical for the high-precision printing to come. The continuous production run concludes as miles of security substrate are wound into a single master roll. Heavy-duty automated systems are required to move these valuable, massive rolls for further processing.
The substrate must cure in a rigorously controlled environment before it can be cut and prepared for printing. Base material and its embedded features. Moisture and light can compromise the substrate, so each roll is hermetically sealed in industrial-grade protective layering. Unique digital identifiers are affixed, ensuring a continuous chain of custody from the paper mill to the printing press.
The transition from the substrate facility to the secure printing works requires military-grade logistics. Each load is calculated by weight and volume to ensure safe transport of the high-value cargo.
Stability is paramount. A shifting load of this magnitude could destabilize the vehicle during transit. Once sealed, the cargo area cannot be opened until it reaches the destination's secure receiving airlock.
The convoy departs immediately, following a randomized route to prevent interception or tracking. Security protocols dictate that raw currency substrate is never transported without armed escort vehicles. The journey is monitored in real time by a central command center using GPS tracking and telemetry.
Every mile is pre-planned to avoid traffic congestion and
Approaching the printing facility, the convoy enters a zone of heightened surveillance and restricted access. Destination is a fortress of production, designed to protect the integrity of the nation's wealth. Identity verification is mandatory for every vehicle attempting to breach the outer perimeter. Automated systems scan the undercarriage, ensuring the vehicle itself has not been compromised. With security clearance granted, the transport is allowed entry into the sterilization zone.
A double-gate airlock system prevents tailgating and ensures total control over facility access.
The raw material has arrived safely. Now, the transformation from paper to currency begins.
A sealed interface connects the vehicle to the facility. The substrate enters the secure holding area, transitioning from transport logistics to internal manufacturing control.
This facility is a modern fortress, engineered specifically to house the sophisticated technology required for currency production. The human element is just as regulated as the machinery. Every specialist undergoes rigorous vetting before stepping on site.
Multi-factor authentication ensures that only authorized personnel can access the high-security production zones. Interlocking door systems prevent tailgating and maintain precise control over the movement of staff.
Personal clothing is exchanged for anti-static, pocketless uniforms to prevent contamination and theft. Static electricity is a fire hazard in paper and ink environments, so every worker must be electrically grounded.
An air shower removes microscopic debris, protecting the pristine environment of the print floor.
Inside, the facility operates like a clinical laboratory, maintaining strict cleanliness standards to ensure printing perfection.
Every kilogram of material is digitally accounted for, creating a permanent record of its location within the plant.
External wood pallets are potential contaminant sources, so materials are transferred to sanitized internal transport systems immediately.
The material now enters the core production environment, where temperature and humidity are kept stable to the decimal point. Before the paper can be cut or printed, it must acclimatize to the factory's specific atmosphere to prevent warping.
Even a slight fluctuation in humidity can cause the paper to stretch, which would ruin the alignment of the intricate security designs.
After 48 hours of conditioning, the protective seal is broken, exposing the raw watermark substrate to the factory air.
To prepare for printing, the continuous roll must be converted into precise, identical sheets.
Proper tension is critical. Even a millimeter of flak can result in a miscut that ruins thousands of dollars of potential currency. Mechanical decurling ensures the substrate will lie perfectly flat during the microscopic printing processes to follow.
Static electricity acts like a magnet for dust. Ionization bars neutralize the charge to release any clinging debris.
The surface is now surgically clean, preventing hickeys or void spots in the intricate ink patterns. Precision slitting establishes the exact reference edge that all subsequent printing plates will align to.
A synchronized rotary knife slices the web into individual sheets with a tolerance of less than 1/10 of a millimeter.
Overlapping the sheets, or shingling, stabilizes the flow and allows for high-speed transport without air turbulence. Automated optical systems scan for mill splices or tears, ready to cull any imperfect sheets before they reach the stack. Flawed sheets are immediately isolated and shredded. Only perfect substrate is permitted to become currency.
Vibration aligns the sheets into a solid block, creating a perfectly square stack ready for the printing presses.
Physical tabs are inserted at precise intervals to aid in manual verification and accounting. While the paper is prepared, a parallel process begins in the secure chemical mixing laboratory.
Banknote ink is a proprietary chemical blend, mixed on-site to ensure consistency and prevent reverse engineering.
The recipe for the Kuwaiti dinar's distinct color is a closely guarded state secret, measured to the microgram. High viscosity varnish is added to the pigment, creating the vehicle that will carry the color onto the paper.
Pre-roll milling crushes the pigment particles to a microscopic size, essential for the ultra-fine lines of intaglio printing.
The first major stage is offset printing, performed on a massive simultan press capable of printing both sides of the sheet at once.
Background colors are applied first, creating the intricate, rainbow-like guilloche patterns that defeat photocopiers.
The ink travels through a maze of rollers to ensure a perfectly even film, just microns thick, reaches the printing plate.
High-speed pneumatic feeders separate the sheets, feeding them into the press at a rate of 10,000 per hour. Before a drop of ink touches the paper, each sheet is mechanically aligned to ensure the front and back images will match perfectly.
The paper passes between two rubber cylinders, receiving the intricate background designs on both sides simultaneously.
This simultaneous printing creates the see-through register, a security feature where shapes on both sides combine to form a single element when held to light. Ultraviolet lamps cure the background inks instantly, preventing smudging as the sheets are piled high. Automated optical systems scan every millimeter of the background print, flagging even the slightest color shift for removal.
With the security backgrounds complete, the sheets are ready for the application of advanced optical features. The sheets are moved to the screen printing department to receive the optically variable features, like the shimmering spark ink.
This distinct ink contains microscopic magnetic flakes that will be oriented to create a 3D motion effect.
The ink is applied in a thick layer through a mesh screen, depositing the material only in the specific shape of the security icon. While the ink is still wet, powerful magnets align the pigments, freezing a dynamic 3D pattern into the liquid. Instant curing locks the magnetic particles in place, ensuring the optical illusion remains sharp for the life of the note.
The rolling bar effect is easy for the public to verify, but nearly impossible for counterfeiters to replicate.
This is the heart of banknote production, intaglio printing, where immense pressure forces ink into the paper's very fibers.
A specialized wiping system cleans the surface, ensuring ink remains only in the microscopic recesses of the engraving. Under 80 tons of pressure, the paper is forced into the grooves, picking up the ink and permanently deforming the paper structure.
This process creates the intaglio relief, the raised texture that fingers instinctively recognize as genuine money. The thick layers of ink require extended dwell time and airflow to cure without transferring to the sheet above. The process is repeated for the reverse side, ensuring the note has a consistent tactile feel in both languages. The latent image is created by varying the orientation of the engraved lines, visible only when light hits the ridges at a specific angle.
Lines that appear solid to the naked eye are actually microscopic text, a detail too fine for commercial printers to reproduce.
Specialized symbols are deeply embossed to allow the visually impaired to identify the denomination by touch alone.
Layering the matte raised ink over the glossy metallic features creates a complex texture map that is incredibly difficult to forge. The sheets, now carrying their full artistic weight, are stacked and weighted to settle the embossed fibers.
Before they can be finished, the banknotes must rest for 72 hours to allow the heavy intaglio ink to fully harden.
Human eyes provide a final aesthetic check, marking any imperfections that the machines might have missed. Each note is now visually identical. The numbering process transforms them into unique.
High-speed lasers burn microscopic perforations into the paper, creating a ghost image, visible only against strong light.
Rotating mechanical blocks advance sequentially with every sheet, guaranteeing that no two banknotes share the same identifier.
A black serial number is printed with magnetic ink, allowing central bank sorting machines to read the notes at high speed.
The secondary serial number fluoresces under ultraviolet light, providing an easy verification method for cash handlers. Automated vision systems compare every serial number against a central database to prevent duplicates or printing errors.
Massive hydraulic guillotines shear the stacks into columns, separating the rows of banknotes for the first time.
Waste margins are trimmed away and instantly shredded, leaving only the printed currency area.
In a split second, the large sheets are transformed into thousands of individual, spending-ready the standard unit for banking transactions.
1,000 individual notes.
Heavy-duty shrink wrap protects the currency from moisture and tampering during its journey to the central bank.
To ensure absolute accuracy, every single bundle is weighed dynamically. A variance of even one banknote triggers an immediate alarm.
The density of the cotton substrate is so consistent that weight alone can verify the count without opening the package.
10 bundles are aggregated into a standard packet containing 10,000 individual notes, a significant concentration of value. Meanwhile, every single sheet that failed quality control must be destroyed under strict supervision to balance the production ledger. The rejected currency is reduced to particles smaller than a grain of rice, making reconstruction impossible.
The waste is compressed into solid briquettes, which are weighed and recorded to account for every gram of paper used.
Despite the automation, random parcels are pulled from the line for a rigorous manual teardown audit.
The snap of the paper is a key indicator of correct sizing and ink curing. A soft note is a defective note.
Physical dimensions are double-checked against the master template to ensure they will function in ATMs and counting machines.
The rub test ensures the ink is fully cured and will not smear under the friction of daily commerce.
Once verified, the sample is repackaged and returned to the stream, its quality guaranteed by human touch.
The finishing line is complete. The currency is now ready for the final stage of logistics, the vault. Billions of notes, perfect in every detail, ready to facilitate trade, savings, and daily life.
From raw cotton and linen to a sophisticated financial instrument, the cycle is complete.
And this is how modern factories produce the Kuwaiti dinar from start to finish.